Another morning begins exactly the same way as the last one did.
Wait, something feels completely different today. What am I missing?
How did humanity even manage to arrive at this specific design? Where does it all go once you pull that mechanical lever?
Behold the engineering of an empire ruled by my absolute design.
Though ruling is nice, ascending this pink route presents an entirely different struggle.
But civilization's progress is often disrupted by a single, catastrophic culinary decision.
Oh no! Oh no! Something is terribly wrong inside my stomach! Ah! I'm losing control! The bathroom is too far away!
And just like that, humanity hits rock bottom in the mud.
Before civilization could manage its waste, it had to manage its defense.
Luxury emerged quickly, with fine dining plates made of gold.
As civilization advanced, the act of relief became a shared, communal experience. In ancient Rome, citizens sat side by side to chat, do business, and relieve themselves. And instead of toilet paper, they shared a single sponge on a stick called a tersorium.
Yes, this device was shared by everyone in the entire public facility. Between uses, it was quickly rinsed in a narrow channel of running water. And then, it was passed directly to the next person in line. Your turn.
As sanitation methods evolved, simple household solutions relied heavily on basic water systems.
Is this simple bucket really the pinnacle of our convenience?
My mind is completely fracturing under the sheer weight of this history.
Every single day feels like another crossed-out block on an endless calendar.
But don't worry, history always offers a strangely royal solution to our basic problems.
Before the luxury of soft materials, ancient history relied heavily on stones called pessoi.
But the ancient Greeks had an even more personal way to use broken pottery.
These shards weren't just random trash, they were tools of political expression.
They would literally write the names of citizens they wanted to banish on these pieces.
These shards were the ancient voting ballots used to decide who would face complete exile.
A simple piece of broken clay held immense psychological power over a citizen.
The physical reality of their choices carried a sharp, internal sting. To protect ourselves in battle, we developed robust physical defenses. But some daily tools of survival were much more primitive than armor.
Behold the ancient scrapers, simple sticks designed for personal hygiene. Before modern paper, people relied on much firmer alternatives found in nature. This small wooden scraper was considered a standard personal hygiene tool. And when wood wasn't available, leaves from a nearby bush did the trick. As resources shifted, ancient populations turned to more rigid materials left behind by nature.
Animal bones became a common, albeit uncomfortable, tool for personal hygiene.
In coastal regions, discarded oyster shells served the exact same purpose. Coastal populations discovered their own readily available scraping alternatives along the shoreline.
Various types of clam and mollusk shells provided a remarkably smooth, if chilly, option.
Are you telling me this is all they had to use back then?
Our immune systems had to work overtime back then.
But sometimes, in Kerman Storden and Wisen tackling a Fimal, the defense just wasn't enough.
Then came the age of high seas and new protocols.
Just when you think things can't get any worse, history proves you wrong. Welcome to life on the high seas, where luxury is non-existent. Out here, the entire ocean was your bathroom, technically speaking.
Consider how every great concept begins with a completely blank slate.
Suddenly, a brilliant breakthrough manifests out of absolute nothingness.
But every brilliant breakthrough inevitably requires mountains of tedious documentation.
Even the mightiest kings needed to issue official royal decrees about basic daily habits. Because at the end of the day, a crown doesn't solve your basic human plumbing needs.
But then, technology arrived to change the royal bathroom game forever.
Then came the ultimate conflict between sanitation and modern psychological chaos. Nobody really knew how to fix it, so we just sort of accepted the madness. Under the burning glare of progress, old habits began to melt away entirely. In the earliest days of human civilization, clothing and resources were incredibly basic.
Before modern engineering, nature provided the only available option for wiping. But reliance on nature meant that a sudden turn in the weather changed everything. Wait, what does a system error have to do with hygiene? Oh no! The consequences of poor waste management are catching up. Without a proper system, everything just collapses into the mud.
Before modern engineering, humans tried using simple materials like dried straw, which failed miserably.
In some cultures, even regional food elements were considered, which led to obvious discomfort.
Meanwhile, the wealthy indulged in absurd luxuries, using expensive yarn and intricate decorative lace.
Using common rags was slightly better, but it was far from ideal. Even kings had unique preferences, famously choosing soft woodland mushrooms.
Finding these natural tools required a trip into the woods.
In many ancient cultures, water alone was the primary method of cleansing.
But remember, you must never use your right hand for this task.
Strict social boundaries dictated exactly how these rituals were managed.
Wait, what if there's a much cleaner way to solve this whole mess? Paper alone just isn't cutting it anymore. Look at this disgusting mess. Yes! Pure, running water makes all the difference. Wait,
Did they really ban bathing completely?
So instead of washing, they just scraped off the dirt with a stick. Lovely.
Yes, even the distinguished gentlemen of the colonial era did this.
Before modern solutions, humans turned to whatever nature provided nearby.
From rough corn cobs to standard household cooking utensils. An abundant stockpile was a household necessity in early America. Before modern convenience, basic daily tasks required raw, uninterrupted focus. And then came the classic backyard outhouse, an iconic regular fixture of rural life.
Finally! The new mail order catalog arrived. It has so many thick pages.
Armed with the latest mail order catalog, he prepared for a lengthy visit. Ah, this looks like a fine piece of machinery to read about.
Then came the era of specialized directories, providing both reading and utility.
The Farmer's Almanac even came with a pre-drilled hole for easy hanging. It provided great reading material first, serving a dual purpose. And when you were done reading, well, pages were resourcefully repurposed.
Everything was going exactly according to plan, right up until this day. Then the 1930s hit, and absolutely everything changed for the worse.
Catalogs upgraded to glossy, non-absorbent paper, making them completely useless for sanitation.
This slick, glossy paper is absolutely useless for wiping.
Hurry up in there! I can't wait much longer! It's all gone. There is no paper left.
Without rules or structure, even our standard forms begin to lose all meaning.
Why must every breakthrough in our comfort lead to an absolute crisis of identity?
Order is restored, and the system functions perfectly once again. Before the luxury of soft paper, humanity relied on whatever was at hand, like a common corn cob.
And modern reading material? Absolutely out of the question.
This rough paper is all I have left to use.
Oh no! Now the plumbing is giving out too!